Hey, happy people. So today we're going to be making some greens, and we're going to do a gumbo style greens. And not only are we going to do gumbo style greens, but we're going to make it vegan. And not only are we going to make it vegan, but we're going to make it alkaline. So I am going to go over my ingredients here, which is usually different from what I usually do, usually at a time as I'm doing it, I tell you. But because I'm going to have to move the camera into the pot, because we are using a large stock pot today, if you are doing this recipe, I definitely high-sided pot of some kind, stock pot. So let me just go over our ingredients right quick. First, we have some oil here. This is going to be grapeseed oil. Then I got some brown spelt flour here. Got some onions, bell peppers, some seasonings here, and we'll explain them when we put them in. We got our not so garlic. We're using our minced version, and we got some fennel stalk. This is just the stalk itself. It is not the bulb or the fringes. We got some smoked mushrooms. Got some veggie broth here, and then over here in our greens, we're going to today use turnip greens. I know usually in this they use like collard or mustard greens, but because that is not on the alkaline list, we're going to go with the greens that are on the list. So we have turnip greens here, and we have some kale, and then over here we got a little arugula here. So this is 3 pounds of turnips. I know it don't look like it, but it is 3 pounds before it was washed, destemmed, and chopped. Same thing with the kale, 1 pound before it was washed, destemmed, and chopped. And the arugula is a ½ pound there. I didn't destem those. With your greens, if you like your stalks in there, like you like the stems in there, that is fine. Sometimes I leave stems too, but just make sure you cook them down a lot longer because they are going to be a lot tougher than your actual leaf of the green. I also read someone said on one recipe that I was looking at, they were like, take the stalks and blend them up in your blender and then just add it back to your broth, which sounds good, but I had already threw away the stalks, so I'm just not going to do it, but that is something I'll probably do next time. So let me get you guys set up where you'll be actually over the pot here so you can see everything going in. I'll be right back. Alright, I am back. As you guys can see, you're right over the pot here. So now we're going to start off. I already have my heat on. It is on a low, but we're going to bring it up to like a medium high here, and we're going to add our oil that we have to the pot. And once our oil is up to temp here, then we're going to add our flour. Alright, so our oil is ready. As you can see, I did a little tester there. So now we're going to start adding our flour. I am going to add my flour just a little at a time just to keep it from clumping. And we're just going to add and stir. Mix it all up here. Try to get all your clumps out there before you move on to adding more. If this is going too fast, you notice that your flour is starting to turn brown a little too fast, you can turn the heat down like I am doing here. Because I don't want my flour to burn while I'm trying to put the rest of the flour in there. So it'll totally mess up our roux here. We want a nice roux. Secret to gumbo. Nice roux. Alright, and continue to stir this till you get all your flour mixed in here. all your clumps out as much as you can there. Now, as you can see, my roux is already like a peanut butter color here. That is because of the brown spelt flour. You want to let it cook just about 5 minutes here. Make sure your flour gets all cooked there. With this is going to just be about what you like with your roux. If you like a darker roux to start out with, I know some people like it very dark. Some people like a peanut butter. Some people like a tan color. But just remember, as you're cooking, it's going to get darker. So don't start out with it being too dark, because then you might burn it and we got to start over again. And who wants to do that? So now, mine here, because it's on high here, I think my flour has cooked pretty well. And I'm going to turn my heat back up, because now I'm going to start adding some more ingredients here. Alright, so now we're going to start adding our alkaline trinity here. And our alkaline trinity is basically our bell peppers, onions, and fennel to replace celery, because usually in your trinity it's onions, bell peppers, and celery. But to replace the celery, we are using fennel. Today I only have the fennel stalks and not the bulbs. We're going to go with that first, because fennel is a little tougher than celery and the onions and bell peppers, so we're going to let that cook down first. And continue to stir so your flour doesn't stick to the bottom and burn. Alright, so now we are going to add our onions and bell peppers here. These are just your yellow onions here. These were quite large onions. It's supposed to be 2 large onions, but these were like extra large onions. So you can, I love onions, so just adjust to whatever your soul say yes to. You don't like that much onion, put just 1 medium onion, you know, whatever you like, whatever your household is accustomed to. Alright, get those stirred up in there, but I like onion, I love onion, so I got a lot. There are bell peppers here. I have 1 whole red bell pepper, again it was extra large, and 1 whole green bell pepper. You can do whatever colors you like, 1 color, it doesn't matter. I think the red bell pepper always gives you a nice flavor. It has a little extra flavor there, a little extra depth, so that's always good. Now, I'm going to get this stirred up here, get my onions and bell peppers to releasing their juices here, and saute down just a little bit there. Alright, so our onions and bell pepper have started cooking here, so now we're going to use our minced not so garlic here. We're going to add that in. Get that all stirred up in there. Smells so good. You're making my stomach growl now. Alright, so now we are going to add our seasonings here. I will run the ingredients at some point up this screen right here. But just to start off here, we have some of the Alkaline Cajun seasoning, some of the Alkaline not so garlic powder. We're using both the minced and the garlic, not so garlic. We have some oregano, some fennel seed. This fennel seed is ground up. We have some smoked sea salt. We are using applewood smoked sea salt today, and some annatto powder. We're just going to sprinkle that all in, get it all mixed up. I'll put the bay leaves in just a second because I don't want to crush them. Y'all, I got fresh bay leaves. Can you see this? Fresh bay leaves. They ain't all crushed up. I finally used up, well, I didn't use them all. I just went ahead and ground up the rest of them because I got tired of piecing those little pieces together that had got crushed. Alright, so get this all mixed in here. Alright, so now we're going to add our broth here. This is a veggie broth. This is 10 cups of veggie broth. If you are using this, make sure you can use water to substitute. If you don't have veggie broth, you can use mushroom broth, whatever broth you have. Again, as I always say, if it is a broth with fennel in it, you may not want to use that one this time because you've used fennel stock and fennel seed. So I would not use the broth that has fennel in it because fennel is strong and it will just take over the flavor of your dish. So I made sure that I did not use a broth that I had used fennel in it to make. This is one without fennel in it. And make sure your broth is at least room temperature or warm. It should not be cold because that's just going to seize up your flour. So we're going to start pouring that in here. Alright, we got a good 8 cups right there. Go ahead and get that mixed in, and then we'll add our other 2 cups. Outside here. If you turned your heat down, you may want to turn it all the way up now. Get yourself boiling here. I'm going to add my other 2 cups. And I'm going to add my 2 bay leaves. Get that in there. Alright, so now, next I have here, these are my dried mushrooms in the other video. Let me just take the moment. The inspiration of this video came from Smoking and Grilling with AB. He did a Cajun style, a gumbo style greens, and it was just awesome. I thought, I'm about to up my green game, baby. So this came from him, but of course he is not a vegan, so he had used a smoked turkey leg. But we're not going to use a smoked turkey leg. We're going to go with smoked mushrooms. These are smoked portobellos. Literally, I smoked them myself. All I did was wash my portobellos, soak them in some liquid smoke, which was hickory smoked, and some smoked sea salt. The sea salt was a hickory sea salt. This is what it looks like after it was dried and whole, as you guys can see. But I just cut up this is about 1.5 cups. I'm just going to set this one to the side because I'm not going to actually use that one right now. I just wanted to show you guys what it looked like. But we're going to add that to get our smokiness from like when he used the smoked turkey leg. So I'm going to add that in there, get our little smokiness going. And that'll be our meat substitute there. Some people add andouille sausage. I did not take out any sausage from the freezer, and it just made me think when I saw this recipe, I need to come up with an andouille sausage recipe. So I'm going to work on that, and then the next time I'll be ready. Alright, so now we got our mushrooms in there. Everything is taking a nice little bath there, getting all situated, getting to know each other. So now we're going to start adding our greens. And with our greens here, we're going to start out with our turnip greens here. We're just going to add them all and mix them in as we go. Let them cook down a little bit, add a little bit more. So turnips. Alright, now from what I'm seeing, I might need to add some more liquid here too. We're going to go ahead and add the rest of our greens, and then I want my liquid to kind of cover them there. So we'll go back and add more liquid after we've added all our greens. So now we're going to add our kale here. Alright, so what I'm going to do is let that cook down for just a minute there so I can have more room in my pot, and I'm going to go get some more veggie broth. I'm going to cover it up here, and I'll be right back. Alright, so now I'm going to continue to add. I got a little more veggie broth here. This is 4 cups. So that's all I got left. If I need any more liquid, we're going to have to use some water. That's all I got thawed out. There we go. Give me a little more working space here. Alright, so we're just going to continue to add our kale here. Okay, in case I forgot to mention, because I don't remember if I did, but this is have a cup of lime juice here. We're just going to add that in there. It'll help tenderize our greens here, cook a little faster. Now we're going to add our arugula here. Alright, so as you can see, my liquid is almost covering them, but not quite. I'm not going to add any more liquid yet because once they cook down, I may not need it. So, now, the waiting game. You want to let this cook until all your greens are tender. Basically, your kale and arugula will be tender before your turnip greens will. Usually, it's about an hour, hour and a half. I'm going to come back in about 15-20 minutes and check this to see if I actually need more liquid. But continue to stir, you know, flip your greens over so everybody gets a good turn in the liquid bath there. And I'm going to try to go about an hour, but I'll let you know when I come back. So, see you in a minute. Alright, it has been about 15 minutes, so I came back to check on it. And it looks like I do not need any more liquid here now that my greens have wilted down a little bit there. I don't think I need any more broth in there, but I did think about the fact that I did put in 4 more cups of veggie broth, so I did add another tablespoon of Cajun seasoning to it just to make sure I don't lose any seasoning due to the extra liquid. And right now is where I'm going to run the ingredients right here. Use this ingredient list, not what I said, because you'll be short on liquid and flavor. So make sure you use this ingredient list right here. Alright, and we're coming to a nice little boil. I don't know how well y'all can see. I keep saying that because of that steam, but we are at a nice little boil here, so I'm just going to let it continue to cook here. Like I say, about an hour. I'm going to continue to come back and check when my greens are tender to my liking. Then we'll be ready. So, be back in a minute for y'all anyway. Alright, so I am back. My greens have cooked down here. They are now fork tender. I have tasted them. I did not adjust any more seasoning besides adding that 1 extra tablespoon of Cajun seasoning. I think they taste pretty good there. I kind of tasted it because I need to check for the doneness too. So, I don't think y'all can really see now with all the steam, but they are ready. It was about 45 minutes. So again, do check about every 15 minutes, every 20 minutes or so, because your greens may cook down faster than what the cook time originally said. It said an hour, hour and a half, but it's only been 45 minutes, and I think that's because my greens are not as tough as like collards or mustard greens. The turnip greens, the kale, and the arugula tends to cook a little faster. So, we are done, and now I'm ready for a bowl. It smells so good in here right now, y'all. I'm just telling you. So good. Smells fantastical. Like, I need to put the extra on the fantastic because it smells amazing. Fantastical. Alright, so now, let me get a little bowl of this here. Get some too. Alright, now. So let y'all see that there. Maybe y'all can see. Ooh, it's hot. Let me get something to hold that with. Alright, here we go. Now, can y'all see that? Greens look so good. So good. They smell fantastical. Alright, so now, I'm just going to do a little taste test on camera here because, like I said, I already tasted it to check for my seasonings and also to check for doneness. So, it is hot. Oh, the flavor is amazing. This is good. What a mushroom. I've seen a mushroom in there somewhere. So, I think the only thing I would change is I would add more of the smoked mushroom, because once it gets cooked down, they kind of get lost in the sauce. So instead of a cup and a half, I would probably, again, I'll run the ingredients and I'll up the mush. When I ran the ingredients, I probably already upped the mushrooms in there to like 3 cups. So I would do 3 cups of the smoked mushroom. Because right now I'm trying to find one. And I know I seen one go in the bowl, but I can't find it. But it's okay. The greens themselves is good enough. It got just that little heat at the back there, at the end there, after you cook it down, like as you're swallowing, you know, but not too much that you just burn your taste buds off. Nice combination of greens, the kale, turnip, and arugula. Neither one is overpowering the other, so that is very good. Alright, y'all, so I'm ready to eat. I'm just going to stand here and talk and eat. So that is it. Give me a thumbs up, because now you have a different way of making your greens, you know, kick up the flavor. As AB said, people be asking you, what did you put in them greens? So, again, thanks to AB from Smoking and Grilling with AB. He was the one that had this recipe, was the inspiration for this. It looked so good, and I just love watching his videos. He's amazing at the stuff he comes up with. So, like I say, just changing over to the alkaline version was not that hard. We just changed out our garlic for our garlic substitutes, and we changed out our greens from the collards and the mustard greens to using the turnips and kale and arugula there. And of course I just upped the onions and the bell peppers because I like those. And we use a smoked sea salt instead of a regular sea salt to accommodate for the paprika that they use. So I use the natto and smoked sea salt to use the for substitution of the paprika. Like this video, I said that because now you got a good way, a new version of greens. Subscribe if you are not a subscriber, so you can see all these amazing videos that we make of all these delicious alkaline substitutes and all the dishes that we make. Share so other people can see these amazing videos and these amazing alkaline dishes, so then they won't be so intimidated or fall off the wagon because you get tired of eating salad or just chickpeas by themselves or something like that, so you want something different. And I always just think about the fact of I'm a person who cooks a lot, and people know me for cooking, so like whenever there's a potluck, some kind of cookout or something, people are like, what are you going to bring? What are you going to bring? So my food has to be up there. It cannot be down here, you know what I'm saying? It can't be just regular. I have to make sure everything is over the top because, again, it's vegan, so people are already looking like, vegan. And it's alkaline, so that makes it a little bit different. So they don't get the same flavor as maybe they would in a regular, so I need to make sure the flavor is great. And when I go to these things, I just don't want to take like chickpea salad or something. Like, I want to make real dishes, so I'm always trying to substitute the dishes that I would probably take to these things. Like today, this is going to go to my co-workers. They were very nice during my birthday. They made me a vegan cake. It was not alkaline, but it was a vegan cake, and I did taste it again because they made it for me. The person specifically made it. She looked up the recipe, so the fact that she put in the work, I was not going to be like, it's not alkaline, I'm not going to eat it. No, the fact that that person did that for me, and I'm the only vegan at that place, so I was very excited about that. And in return, I am going to make these greens, and I'm going to let them taste them. So, what else do I need to say? Like, share, subscribe. Go to MrStayHappy.com. Right there, I'll put that in the description link below. MrStayHappy.com. You can find the alkaline Cajun seasoning, the alkaline not so garlic, and the minced version, and the powdered version there. And all these other seasonings. We have over 20 seasonings now on our website. We have quite a few sauces and things like that, so go check us out. We are constantly adding new product to substitute to make alkaline cooking a lot easier for us these days. And I think that's it. And until the next video, stay happy.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Butter on my stress. Uh-huh.